In today's class, we will discuss about regional aspiration in India, especially about the situation of Kashmir. Even before independence of India, Kashmir was a controversial issue. Violent incidents in the state caused the death of a large number of people. Large number of families has been displaced and many have become invalid for life. The main focus of ever conflicting Indo Pak diplomacy is Kashmir. At this point, we will also discuss about Jammu and Kashmir and also Ladakh. The Kashmir issue is not only limited within Kashmir, it also followed by Jammu, Kashmir, and is geographically divided in three parts: Jammu, Kashmir, and Ladakh. Muslim people are in majority in Kashmir Valley. Jammu is a mixture of hills and valleys, and Hindus are in majority here. In language, we find people speak Jammu language and also other languages. Ladakh is hilly region with a lesser population. Population in this area is divided among Buddhist and Muslims. So, after independence and during these days, we find a large number of changes in population for both Muslims and Hindu. There is a drastic change at this level of time. The relationship between India and Pakistan have been bitter around the issue of Kashmir since independence. The question of Kashmiri identity is also linked with the issue. Kashmiriyat is the idea which reflects the aspiration of Kashmir people for having an independent country. There are some roots of the problem. During independence, Kashmir was an independent princely kingdom. While majority of people were Muslims, the king was a Hindu. During independence, Maharaja Hari Singh wanted Kashmir to be an independent country and decided not to join either India or Pakistan. Pakistan leaders asserted that as majority of people in Kashmir was Muslim, it should be a part of Pakistan. But the people of Kashmir did not think like that. Their leader Sheikh Muhammad Abdullah of National Conference wanted to be free from the rule of King Hari Singh, and at the same time did not uh, want to be a part of Pakistan. That means want Kashmir to be a part of Pakistan. National Conference was a secular party and had good relations with Congress. But because of Maharaja Hari Singh, Jammu and Kashmir remained independent. Pakistan was in no mood to accept the independent status of Jammu and Kashmir. In October 1947, some tribesmen armed with modern weapons entered Kashmir. This attack has been discussed in various ways. As a result of this attack, Hari Singh wrote to Lord Mountbatten, who was the Governor General of India, to send army to support Kashmir. India agreed to help Kashmir on one condition. Hari Singh had to sign Instrument of Accession on 26 October 1947. An important clause of this agreement was that after normalcy returned to Kashmir, a plebiscite or popular vote will be held where people of Kashmir can decide their future. In March 1948, Sheikh Abdullah became the Prime Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. His party National Conference is the successor of All Jammu and Kashmir Muslim Conference Party, which was formed in 1932. India agreed to maintain the autonomy of Kashmir. And finally, the problem is solved to a little bit. External and internal disputes still continued. Since then, the Kashmir issue is a central point of conflict between India and Pakistan. Pakistan till today has been finding it difficult to accept that Kashmir has been a part of India. In the attack of tribesmen in 1947, a part of Kashmir went under the control of Pakistan. According to India, Pakistan's occupation of this area is illegal. Pakistan named this area Azad Kashmir. Both the countries often have armed conflicts because of the Kashmir issue. On the basis of the instrument of accession, Prince Karan Singh sent a representative group of 4 members to the Indian Constituent Assembly in June 1949. Kashmir's accession to India was done on the basis of instrument of accession. Constitution of India incorporated Article 370 to provide special status to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel mentioned that Article 370 is required because Kashmir faced some challenges. Although initially Article 370 was a temporary feature, but gradually it became permanent. Although we find the relaxation of this article some years ago, this article gave special power to Jammu and Kashmir as compared to other states of India. Kashmir has its own constitution and even a separate national flag. All provisions of Indian constitution are not implemented in Kashmir. Laws passed by the Indian Parliament have to be ratified by the State Assembly of Kashmir for implementation. The state also has unique citizenship laws. The special status of Kashmir has led to two opposing viewpoints. According to one view, Article 370 must be omitted from Indian Constitution, and luckily we have it today, as this article doesn't let Kashmir completely absorb with India. On the other hand, to some, the autonomy given to Kashmir under Article 370 is not adequate. A part of Kashmir's population has the following features like situation, as we already mentioned in our previous chapters. In the instrument of accession, no plebiscite has been held in Kashmir yet to decide whether it should be a part of India or not. People feel that the provisions of Article 370 have not been implemented properly. Hence, there are demands for independence and maximum state autonomy. It was a real problem. Like other states, democracy have not been implemented in Jammu and Kashmir. Here, one question may arise that how far Article 370 is acceptable and rational. For some reasons, this article must be implemented. For example, like omitting this article from the Constitution will not only break the trust of the leaders of the National Conference, but also to the common people of Kashmir. But at present, it is relevant to abolish this and giving a proper status. It was a matter of concern at that time. Article 370 has actually made it easy for Indian government to face Maharaja Hari Singh, instrument of accession, and Sheikh Abdullah. It has made accession of Kashmir with India easy and smooth. So politics since 1948. According to the instrument of accession, Jammu and Kashmir became the part of India. National Conference leader Sheikh Abdullah, after becoming the Prime Minister of Kashmir, initiated a number of welfare policies for the people of the state. Among these, land reform was an important one, but soon there was difference of opinion between Sheikh Abdullah and the government of India. The cause was Abdullah's view on the status of Kashmir. In 1953, Sheikh Abdullah was dismissed and arrested. Abdullah stayed in jail from 1953 to 1964 and again from 1965 to 68. After Sheikh Abdullah's, the parties did not get much support from the people. It managed to rule the state with central government's help. Congress played an important role in politics of the state in 1950s and in 1970s. When Sheikh Abdullah was in jail, National Conference formed an alliance with Congress. This allowed Congress to have direct control over the administration of the state. During this time, central government tried to reach an agreement with Sheikh Abdullah. As a result of this agreement, Sheikh Abdullah again became the Prime Minister. National Conference became a strong party once again under the leadership of Sheikh Abdullah. In 1977 state assembly elections, the party got a majority. After the death of Sheikh Abdullah in 1982, his son Dr. Farooq Abdullah became the Chief Minister of Kashmir. In 1984, the governor Jagmohan controversially suspended Farooq Abdullah. On 2nd July 1984, with some MLAs withdraw their support from Abdullah's government, Dr. Abdullah asked the governor to call a session of the assembly to improve his majority, but Mr. Jagmohan dismissed his government and appointed J.M. Shah as the new Chief Minister of Kashmir. The people of Kashmir did not like this intervention of the central government. People lost faith in the agreement between Sheikh Abdullah and the Indira Gandhi. This led to the beginning of the new political atmosphere in the state, especially after the alliance of Congress and National Conference in 1987 elections. The people of Kashmir lost trust in this party. Starts insurgency, and after insurgency, what we find, the Congress National Conference Alliance own a majority amidst doubt and mistrust of people in the election of 1987. Dr. Farooq Abdullah again became the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, but it's hard to say that this election reflected the people's choice. According to many, election was not fair. As a result, people got dissatisfied with the democratic process of election. They felt that election only served the interest of the central government. This loss of faith led to the beginning of armed militancy in state. This armed militancy led to the political turmoil which was not been over yet. The decade of 1980s was a dangerous decade for Jammu and Kashmir. Towards the end of this decade, the entire state was in a grip of insurgency. Most of these insurgent groups wanted a separate country for Kashmir. Majority of these groups found support from Pakistan, although Pakistan has been denying such allegations. Proof of its involvement has been many, as this led to a very disturbing situation in Kashmir. The state was under presidential rule for many years. Since 1990, the common people suffered both in hands of insurgents and army. In this recent past, due to an increase in the activities of the insurgents, Armed Forces Special Power Act was implemented in Jammu and Kashmir. In 1996 elections, the National Conference led by Dr. Farooq Abdullah again came to power based on this issue of regional autonomy for Kashmir. In 2002, this party lost power for a coalition government was formed by People's Democratic Party and Congress. Muhammad Syed became the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, but the party again came back to power in 2009. In the Assembly election 2014, National Conference Party once again is formed the power. Separation and its impact. The politics of separatism that started in Jammu and Kashmir in 1989 have taken different forms in different times. Some separatist groups wanted Kashmir to be free from both India and Pakistan. On the other hand, some groups wanted to be a part of Pakistan. Again, some other groups wanted Kashmir to be a part of India and enjoy maximum autonomy. Even inside the state, there has been an increased demand of autonomy. For example, the idea of political autonomy has affected the people of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. These people often complain about their underdevelopment. For this, the people of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh want greater autonomy within the state of Jammu and Kashmir. According to a study of 95% of Kashmiri Brahmins who were called Kashmiri Pandits had to leave Kashmir. Due to the violence in Kashmir, almost 1.5 million people are living as refugees in Azad Kashmir in Pakistan. This further led to the displacement of 1 lakh Kashmiri Muslims and 3 lakhs Kashmiri Pandits. At present, the influence of insurgency is decreasing in Kashmir. The central government is also having negotiations with most insurgent groups. Interestingly, most groups have moved away from their demand of an independent Kashmir, but stable peace is in the state is still a matter of concern. According to some analysts, due to Pakistan's internal problems, the country has not been creating problems in Kashmir. Pakistan lends support to the insurgent groups in Kashmir because of international pressure. This has made the condition in Kashmir comparatively peaceful. Jammu and Kashmir is an example of politics in a plural society. The political aspirations in such a state are not varied. Conflict and clash of interest is very common in such a situation. What is important is that the state has still succeeded in maintaining a secular atmosphere. So that's all for today. We will discuss about the challenges and responses in the Northeast in our next class. Aska Chutti.